Hello and welcome to the offside flag. It's our Wednesday night extravaganza of this week. Yeah.
Well, brightens up many people's midweeks, I've heard.
Yeah.
But, we're on episode 11, so we've now got enough episodes to fill a football team. And yes, we're going to discuss the usual weekend results, special topic on which players in the Premier League are world class, following on from last week's topic. The odds on Hull winning the league title this year. I can imagine my money's down on them, to be honest. And what first got us into football. So, and of course we've got a viewer question from Mr. Stuart Davis. I'm sure you appreciate the shout out about short corners, and after a lengthy discussion with him yesterday, he's not a fan.
And give it 20 minutes time and you're probably going to find out that I'm not a fan of it either.
So
we're going to start our weekend review at Old Trafford, the Friday night football. I didn't actually watch the show. I watched the highlights, which I'm very, very disappointed at because Rachel Riley, quite frankly, is amazing.
Yeah, I apologise for having taste in women and not finding Rachel Riley that attractive. But
So if you're extremely pale and got dark hair, Gav's your man.
Thank you.
No, United on Friday night. We both predicted that United would win, and they did so.
Yeah, they dared to Zlatan, didn't they? Very comfortable win, and he's on current form, replicating his PSG goal scoring record. It's be interesting to see how long he can maintain this, though.
However, Southampton did have a lot of chances. And I believe had more possession than Man United at Old Trafford, which is not done.
No, not at all. But I mean, I suppose that's the thing with possession, isn't it? It's what you do with it, as another game will show later on.
Yeah.
So
talking about possession and not doing anything with it. Burnley 2, Liverpool 0. Vokes and Gray in the first half. Liverpool had 81% of the possession, had 26 shots, 12 on target, and did not score.
Well, yeah, I was listening to 606 phone in, and some Liverpool fans were actually calling for Klopp to get sacked.
Idiots.
And
absolute idiots.
Apparently, and this is their words, not mine, they are taking the club backwards. It was far better during the Rodgers era, where the team showed character. So, they all showed character, don't you remember? They didn't win, but...
Great character. Great character. But no, Liverpool undid all their good work at Arsenal last week and went and lost 2-0. Like I say, a goal from Sam Vokes, who I believe scored his first Premier League goal.
Yeah.
Also, Andre Gray, who is the subject of some very interesting tweets that were sent back out in 2012. However, I'd just like to point out that I first saw these tweets being circulated by Liverpool fans.
Well, I'd like to move off the uncomfortable terrain, which is... Gray's tweets, really, but...
No, I'm happy to talk about it.
Fair enough.
No, to be fair to the lad, they were 4 years ago. He's apologised. Just leave it, for God's sake. 4 years ago, he was playing non-league. Nobody knew who he was 4 years ago. I did, because he used to play for Shrewsbury Town. And one Paul Simpson, who is an absolute imbecile, once said that he wasn't good enough to play League 2 football.
Well,
just let that sink in for a minute, Paul. Let it sink in.
Well, he's definitely not League 2 standard, is he?
You absolute idiot. Anyway, less of being controversial on certain individuals. Paul Simpson's an idiot. On to, I would probably say, the surprise result of the weekend.
I'd agree with that. Although, But obviously apart from the Burnley one. Champions-elect Hull were playing Swansea away from home, away from the country actually, and pulled off a very impressive 2-0 result.
Yeah, it was the absolute epitome of smash and grab, to be honest. Swansea were all over them for most of the game, and then Hull scored twice in the last 12 minutes through Maloney and Hernandez. Maloney's goal was an absolute worldie off his thigh as he was falling over from a corner. So
short corner.
No. Which would have been goal of the season so far. If it wasn't for Stuani, who we'll come on to in a short while. But Hull are off to a flyer, 6 points from 6. They've only got 13 fit senior players. Destined to do a Leicester.
Yeah. Well, this is it. The team should be very used to playing week in, week out with each other, shouldn't they? If there's no rotation. I've heard they've made 1 substitution. Is that correct?
I believe so, yeah. They've actually only used 12 players this season. And I'd just like to put it out there now that if Hull win the Premier League this season, I will buy a Hull shirt and I will write in face paint or whatever Hull City Tigers across my face, and I will do the last programme of the season with that on me.
Famous last words.
No, I will. If Hull win the Premier League, I will do it. But no, fair play to them. 6 points out of 6 with a very, very depleted squad. Mike Phelan's got them going.
Exactly, yeah. And, well, they're only 34 points off their target of survival.
Yeah. Right, we're going off to Stoke now. To see if Pep Guardiola could do it on a wet, windy afternoon in Stoke, and apparently he can. Yeah. City ran out comfortable 4-1 winners. Couple of interesting decisions from Mr. Mike Dean, who is renowned for.
Yeah, it's controversy. It often surrounds him, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I have heard several comments of it was the Mike Dean show, but I'll be honest, I quite like him.
Yeah,
he's into it, isn't he? He's part of the you want to be entertained as a football fan, and yes, you can get entertained by footballers, but it helps when he's getting going as well. Yeah. I mean, does anybody remember Spurs scoring last season against, I think it was Aston Villa, and Mike Dean looked like he was celebrating with it. But yeah, City went there and, to be honest with you, killed the game really by half time. Aguero scored twice, firstly from the penalty spot with Mike Dean using the new directive for holding and pulling players, to which I'm going to give a special mention to Ryan Shawcross here.
Long time viewer.
Mainly because I think he's just a complete brute and he's not a footballer, he's just an animal. However, it's been a long time since a Premier League footballer came out and spoke to the media after he's done something and admitted that he's let the side down and it was the wrong thing to do, which fair play to the lad.
Yeah,
is a good thing. Aguero then scored again from a header. Somehow, little Aguero managed to beat Stoke's defence in the air.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Which is, wow, it's criminal, isn't it? It's
I totally agree. I did see a tweet, I think it was from Gary Lineker, about Nolito, and he said, who would have thought he'd have more of an end product than Navas? It's a fair point.
I've seen that Sterling's playing well at the moment, but I'm still not sold on him. I still think he's very, very overrated. But if there is one man to turn him around, Pep Guardiola is probably that man.
Exactly. You've rejuvenated a lot of players there, who do you think?
Yeah. Obviously, Nolito got a couple in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And Kirkic scored from the penalty spot for Stoke, who were also given a penalty on the new directive. However, this was soft. Yeah. Very, very soft. To be fair, Sterling's barely laid a hand on him. And to be honest with you, if you think that Raheem Sterling is going to stop Ryan Shawcross getting to a football, then you're sadly mistaken.
Exactly.
But yeah, City 2 out of 2 so far. Sitting pretty just behind Man United.
Exactly.
Or just on top of Man United.
On top on goals scored, I believe.
On goals scored.
And that's it. They're going to be genuine title challengers. On to Spurs, who scored via Wanyama in pyjamas, which is still a great fancy football name. I wish I'd taken it. So yeah, you saw the game, didn't you? I believe.
Yeah.
Impressions.
Spurs probably should have won by more than the one. Ironically, scored by Wanyama, who I heard a lot of Spurs fans and saw a lot of tweets saying that he was their worst player last week. I wonder if he's their best player this week. It depends how fickle you are, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, the Liverpool fans that phone in about Klopp, maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, Spurs, they got a draw last week at Everton, good result, and they're off the mark at home, 4 points out of 6, 2 potentially tricky games, and yeah, they've started off well. Crystal Palace, however, signed Christian Benteke on Saturday morning. Yeah, what do you think?
Very good buy. He showed when he was the focal point of the Villa team, he provided a lot of goals, and he is actually a target man to build a play around, isn't he? And this is a hard part of the show for me. Pardew made a good decision in buying Benteke. He noticed there was a need for a striker and went out and got a very decent one. So well done, Pardew, for that. Not feeling overly well, sorry.
Sorry, we're just letting that sink in for a minute. Gav's just praised Alan Pardew. You ain't going to hear that again.
And also said I was wrong.
Yeah. You ain't going to hear that again either. Right, we're off to Vicarage Road and Watford, who took the lead through Capoue. Maybe Courtois should have saved it, but to be fair to the lad, he's hit it with a bit of beans. But then controversy after that. Batshuayi equalised. Diego Costa scored the winner, but for the second week in a row, should not have been on the pitch.
That's a theme with Diego Costa, isn't it? I wonder how many retrospective red cards you could give him in his career.
Well, the thing is, he feels that he's been fouled in the build-up to the Capoue goal, and they've gone up the other end and scored. He's chased the referee. He's had a go at him. New directive says yellow card. Yeah. So that's exactly what he's going to get. And then he's just dived. It's a plain and simple dive. It should be a yellow card. Yeah. The referee, in my opinion, bottled it. And yeah, he should have gone twice in 2 weeks, but he scored the winner twice in 2 weeks, and teams are suffering because of it.
Yeah, it's a topic I'd like to discuss on another episode in terms of why the second yellow card is so much harder to obtain than the first one.
I don't struggle giving out yellows.
Oh no, but I mean, a lot of referees will sort of let things slide that they wouldn't have done the first time, don't they? So
maybe he just couldn't be bothered to smell Costa's breath again or something.
Yeah,
but this is what I want to say about Diego Costa. Diego Costa is a fantastic footballer, a good striker, and will score goals for Chelsea. But he is an arsehole.
You're definitely providing the controversy count for both of us, though, aren't you?
Yeah, he is. He is just a knob. He really is. If he could use all that idiotness that he's got, I don't even know if that's a word.
It's
but
not, mate.
If he could use that and put it into his football, he'd actually be a world-class player. But unfortunately,
yeah. But one thing, Chelsea have been experimenting with 2 up front, haven't they? Which is a throwback to the 90s football that I know I love. So it's good to see that again. I'd love to see more teams go with 2 up front, but unfortunately I feel that is begone to a bygone age.
Yes. But Chelsea also 6 points out of 6.
Yeah. And doing it without playing great, so you'd think that's more a sign of champions, really.
Yeah, I'd be concerned if I was the Manchester clubs that Chelsea have got 6 out of 6 and they've had 2 tricky games. And yeah, I'd be pretty.
Also, it's been overlooked, I think, but no European football for Chelsea, is there?
No, there isn't. Does that mean? Do you think that he can go hell for leather in all 3 domestic competitions, or do you think that he will focus solely on the Premier League?
I think it means he can, but he won't. No, I think he would. Mind you, I was watching Juve when the title was pretty much won, and he does push the players very hard even then. So maybe.
West Brom against Everton. West Brom with a win last week. Unfortunately, brought back down to earth this week. Macaulay gave him the lead. Morales equalised, and then Gareth Barry, of all people, got the winner. Now, there's a couple of things I want to talk about this. Is number one, if you're a West Brom defender and you're letting Gareth Barry score, then you should probably go and have a word with yourself. And secondly, the thing that I noticed whilst watching the game was the amount of empty seats in the ground, which West Brom are not that famous for because they fill the stadium week in, week out. Unless they're all sitting on the roof expecting the Tony Pulis football of old. But yeah, I mentioned it at the start of the season, and I'd say it now that there's some very disillusioned West Brom fans.
It would appear so. I mean, they've not been placated by a scarf, which I thought was very strange.
Yeah.
So
maybe they should have given them out at the home game.
No, yeah, that'd be an idea. Although you'd have to buy more scarves, I'm guessing.
Yeah, true. But Everton have 4 points out of 6. They're looking pretty dangerous this season.
Yeah, exactly, and going to be far better defensively, as mentioned quite a few times. And now Lukaku's staying, it would appear.
Yeah, but only for 1 more year.
Yeah,
it's nice of him to give him a sell-by date.
That's another issue I want to raise on another point about players when they sort of. I mean, he was released by rejected by Chelsea, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Everton took him on when he didn't really have anyone else to go, and now that he's getting offers to go elsewhere, he seems to have forgotten his loyalty and just abandoned. Well, as if they should feel entitled that he's going to be there for another year. So, oh, gee, thanks.
Loyalty in football's gone now, isn't it? Really, I'd say.
Yeah, true.
There's very, very few one-man clubs.
Yeah, and the flip.
One club man.
And the flip side is the club will soon get rid of you if they. So yeah. But so another topic for another time about the player loyalty. On to Leicester Arsenal. Well, the teams that finished first and second last year, and Leicester should be happy that this year they've gained 1 more point than they did against Arsenal all last year.
Yeah, not gonna lie, this game was pretty boring. It wasn't. It wasn't the game of the first and second from last year, that's for sure. No. Very cagey affair. Nothing really happened apart from 2 penalty appeals, both waved away by Mark Clattenburg. One absolutely right to do so. Fantastic decision. Second one, I'm going to call it the Clattenburg clanger. Because how he has not given a penalty for Musa is it's just beyond me. He's looking directly at it, and he's seen the lad take his legs and he's waved it away. And the thing is, he's looked so sure about it as well.
Yeah.
Which...
Part of me is hoping he makes a mistake every week so we can have the Clattenburg clanger as a regular feature.
But yeah, being honest, nothing really happened. So... There's not much to talk about in the Leicester Arsenal game. No,
which will be the same for the West Ham Bournemouth game later, won't it?
Yeah. But, although Claudio Ranieri did say that there was more chance of ET landing in Piccadilly Circus than Leicester winning the title.
I don't understand why he's been so specific about the location, but yeah.
On to Super Sunday, and Sunderland losing the Time Weir derby to
a very resurgent Middlesbrough.
sorry, the Tees Weir derby. Sorry, Newcastle fans, you might have got your hopes up then, but sorry.
Was it not a Super Sunday because the presenter wasn't good at maths? Is that the issue with this, or?
No, it's obviously I'll call it Super Sunday. Gav doesn't like the concept, but talking of Super, Christian Stuani.
Yeah, very underrated striker.
What an absolute ripper! From 25 yards to open the scoring. Could be goal of the season, and we're only 2 weeks in. And he notched another one just before half time when Negredo unselfishly squared it to him. Sunderland booed their team off at half time, as you do 2 games into a season. And Van Aanholt got a consolation in the second half. They knocked on the door. They probably could have got a couple more, but they're lacking a bit of quality. Johnny Evans is out, but they were already lacking a bit of quality. Although, to be honest with you, it's quite promising because, as I said, I'm a Shrewsbury Town fan and we're there on Wednesday night. So
exactly.
Hopefully we can go and turn them over and make David Moyes' life even more of a misery.
On to West Ham. It's a game I haven't seen, I must admit, but a result I'm very happy with. Another good win for West Ham, so still a fan, you see.
Yeah. Not the game that they wanted in the first game in the London Stadium in the Premier League. Nothing really happened. Harry Arter got sent off for what can only be described as just being a total idiot, really. He's got booked for dissent, and then he's brought the lad down, and he's always going to get booked for it. So he was sent off, and then West Ham scored the winner with around about 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, a player who, in my opinion, should have gone to the Euros in Antonio.
So West Ham are off to a good start in their home stadium. It's weird watching it though. It really is.
I can't.
It's just the pitch is so far away from the stands, and it's
like watching Lazio.
Yeah, it's like watching Lazio or Roma. It's a fair way away. But there you go. That's the weekend's football. Said the top 4: City, United, Chelsea, and Hull. Who'd have thought? But we're just going to quickly go on to Premier League players that we think that are world class, and because this is going to be very short, because having discussed it,
we've come up with 2 overall.
Yeah. For me, there's only one, and that's Aguero.
I would add Özil into the mix, but I mean, it's tough to. Be interesting to get comments back on this. What players you think are world class, and I'd happily discuss them with you. But no, it's a small pool.
Yeah, if you want to send us in your the players that you think are world class, then please tweet us at the offside flag 1, or comment on the video, and we'll discuss it as and when we get them. Doesn't matter if it's this week. We can do it. We can do it on every show if you want. It's not a problem. But yeah, there's only 2 really in the Premier League. I think there are some youngsters coming through that could be.
Yeah, I mean, well, not coming through from the Premier League, well, maybe, but Pogba could be in that bracket soon. Zlatan, I was deliberating over, but still no. Again, there's a few maybes, but genuinely world class.
But only 1 or 2 definites.
Yeah, exactly.
Odds on Hull to win the Premier League.
Stonewall, mate.
Absolutely Stonewall. Get your lump on now. No, but seriously, it's a good start, but they're going to struggle if they've only got 13 men in their squad. Yeah. 13 fit players. I think you'll find that they plummet very, very quickly.
I think the surprise package winning the league title is a once in a 20-year type thing. So,
what first got you into football?
Euro '96 actually, home tournament. England had a fantastic team, very very entertaining to watch. I grew an affinity for the Czech Republic team and their surprise inclusion in the final, and the fantastic player who, you see, along with Pirlo, he's my joint favourite player of all time, and he gets mercilessly mocked by my co-host, Pavel Nedved.
Yeah, I once told Gav that he was sent off in the first ever World Cup for a 2-footed challenge on Jesus. That's how old I think he is. But to be fair to Pavel Nedved, he did seem to be around for a long time.
He did. He just and always maintained his ability and showed loyalty to Juventus even when they got relegated. So again, fantastic.
Yeah, I mocked the living daylights out of him, but I'm not going to take away the fact that he was world class.
Yeah, it's absolutely sublime. On to what first got you into football?
I think it was either the 92-93 season or the 93-94 season.
Yeah.
My dad took me to watch Shrewsbury. I believe that my first game was watching Shrewsbury lift the league title against Wigan.
Wow.
In a 0-0 extravaganza. But from there I was hooked. So sort of, I followed Liverpool when I was younger, but to be honest with you, I just watch Premier League for the enjoyment now. I don't really support any teams. I'll go and watch the odd Premier League game now and then. You'll probably see me down at the Etihad.
Yeah.
Watching a game now and then. This is not a jibe on Man City and whatnot, but it's just easier to get tickets and it's quite cheap. So to be honest with you, if there's anybody, I'm not saying that people should be glory hunters or anything, but if you want to go and watch your football, it is quite cheap there. So it's not the worst place in the world. And for the life of me, it just annoys the living daylights out of me when people say, "Oh, you can't fill your stadium, etc., etc." Does that not show that there's not too many glory hunters?
No, exactly. But one thing I like about this show is we're both Premier League neutrals, so
yeah,
it's sort of interesting take on it, I think. As much as we love the Premier League, we don't really have a horse in the race, so...
Yeah, but yeah, me going to watch lower league football was my sort of ticket into football.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I had a membership card, used to sit in the family stand. Trust me, being a Shrewsbury Town fan, you suffer. You really do. But yeah, I think I think that was my my first experience, and I was hooked ever since.
It's a good way to enter football in terms of watching it live, definitely.
Yeah, if there's any parents or any youngsters watching this, yes, I've just said about Man City and whatnot, but if you really want to get into football, go and watch your local club. Go and watch it. If you've got a lower league club local to you, go and watch them. It's a good ticket into football, and I'm sure they'll enjoy it.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it. When I have kids, hopefully that I'll be able to take them to a lower league game, and hopefully they'll enjoy it. And it's just a good ticket into football.
Yeah, and it's nice to see the progress of some players, say Joe Hart. I mean, it's great to see him sort of go, oh, I remember him when he was at Town or whatever. So it's sad you see some potentially brilliant players, and when they're starting off the career as well. So.
Also, Dave Edwards, who was in the Wales squad.
Yeah, exactly.
For the Euros, which is good.
Yeah.
Right, we're on to viewers' questions, and we have one from Stuart Davis, and it's what's our opinion on short corners?
Well, as this happens to be one of my best friends, Stuart Davis, so we discussed it for like 10 minutes yesterday, but might as well fill the show as well. You see, I'm not a fan of them, I must admit, because I think if you're a centre half and you've jogged 60, 70 yards up the pitch and then the move breaks down because you've tried to pass it to the tricky winger who's tried to step over and lost the ball, it seems rather pointless.
Yeah, personally, I don't like them either. I can't stand them. I believe that a corner should be a direct cross into the box, especially if you've sent your centre halves up. I believe that those two 10-yard marks should be used to. The ball must go further than that.
Yeah,
To be honest. But hey ho, I don't make the laws.
I will play devil's advocate a little bit for it in terms of if your team is smaller than the opposition's and an aerial ball isn't of much use, maybe you could fashion an opportunity by going short. But most of the time, you might as well just stick the big centre half up, which you've probably got, and hopefully he can disrupt things in the box.
So I still believe that these days that there's enough players in teams that are big enough to pack the penalty box and get the ball in. So yeah, not a fan at all, to be honest. They're just pointless. Right, to end the show, obviously me and Gav have got a run in Super Sixes going. Yet again, well, you scored on 4 of the games.
Yeah.
None of us got a result right, but we got we got the result right. We didn't get the scoreline right. So the score is now 10-5 to Gav. So when we do our Premier League preview on Saturday morning, I'm gonna have to sort myself out, I think.
We'll say that if you want betting advice on the weekend's football, we're probably not the people to go to, judging by current form. But
yeah, odds by BetTurd.
Terrible. But thank you, viewers, and hope you've enjoyed episode 11 of the Offside Flag.
Yeah.
We'll soon be doing episode 12 with weekend predictions and a few other topics.
Yeah, we fancy discussing our fantasy teams.
I need to look at mine again, but yes.
Yeah, I put my fantasy team in last week and got 58 points in the first week, so it's not too bad.
Not bad. I know one thing, I've got Aguero and Zlatan up front, so hopefully they can carry me to...
Christ almighty, what's the rest of your team?